Hey there, I'm Altair Falcon, and today I'm here to recommend and review this game for you. This game is called The Darkest Dungeon, and it's about someone, someone who committed some mistakes, a lot of mistakes throughout his life. He invoked some demons. He may or may not have spread a vampiric disease throughout the world. He may or may not have found a portal to another dimension which has horrors that should not be unleashed to the world. And this guy was our ancestor as the protagonist of the game, and he killed himself after fucking up everything and let the state of the family to us to fix it. So with the help of mercenaries, which you can find here in the stagecoach, we enter the dungeons and the areas of the state to clean the situation and fight against the enemies of the other world. That's the gist of the story. Now that we got our introduction out of our way, let's talk a bit about the gameplay. The gameplay is simple. You have a group of mercenaries that you can find in the stagecoach that will help you solve the problems of that your ancestor left for you in the state. Each of these areas have a different dungeon with minor differences in their mechanics and big difference in their stories. Each of these areas have a different story, a different side story, with the darkest dungeon being the main story. And some of them are DLCs, which are the courtyard and the farmstead. Good DLCs. I recommend if you're going to play this game, you buy them. It's worth it. Oh yeah, this game is a turn-based RPG. So if you don't like this type of game, maybe it's not for you, this game. But if you want to watch the rest of this video anyway, feel free to do so. So you bring the mercenaries to your roster, you select an area, and you go explore the dungeon. We select an area, we select the materials we are going to want to bring to our area. So this is the basic setup. Here we have the map of the dungeon. Each of these blocks is a room that we can go and explore. In between the rooms are the corridors, which will have some things to interact with and some enemies to fight. Some of the things are loot, some of the things are traps, and most importantly, some of the times we'll have enemies, which I would say is the main fun of the game, the enemies and the boss enemies. Although the exploration is really fun and the story is really good with a darker tone, but not too dark, just the perfect amount, I would say that the gameplay of this game is what really shines here. For example, let's fight a little bit. Here are the enemies. The process is simple. Each of the characters has one action point. Of course, some of the bosses have 2 to 3 action points, but that's only bosses. You will only have like one action per turn, and most of the enemies, at least the smaller ones, will only have one action per turn too. So use your abilities, they use theirs. You try to kill them, they try to kill you. Simple, easy, but it's really well made. Each of the characters have 8 abilities, which can be selected here in this area. See, you can select them and change them. There are some abilities that are better in the front and cannot be used in the back. There are some that can be used in the back and cannot be used in the front. And that's my favorite part of the game, the abilities of the characters. Although the story is really good, as I said before, and the tone is really well made, especially the sound. The sound design of this game is really good. But my favorite part of the game is the abilities of the characters. Each character has 8 abilities. Most of them can select up to 4 abilities, different abilities to have in their ability bar during the fight. And for me, the most fun part about the game is seeing how can you make a team that interacts really well and makes the whole experience really easy. And because of the way the game is designed, with each enemy is a type of monster. Most of the characters have some ability that has a damage modifier that interacts with it. So some of the characters are better against human type monsters, some are better against beast type monsters. There are like 4 to 5 different types of monsters in the game, which makes it really interesting and really engaging. Like, what ability will I want in this area that has undead? What ability will I want in this area that has eldritch monsters? And that's basically it about the gameplay. In conclusion, this game is really fun and really interesting. most importantly, it's really well done and has a lot of personality, both in the story, the narrator of the story, the side stories, and most importantly, the mercenaries and their abilities and their story. Each and every one of the mercenaries have their own little stories and little things that they can do, and hidden stats that show a way of playing that is very different, especially for some of them, which makes the gameplay really interesting for you to start playing with some characters, learn how to play with them, then change it a little bit. All the while you are learning about the mechanics of each and every area to know how to play against what bosses, what monsters, what every monster do, how to counter the bosses. It's really engaging and it's really fun. So I really recommend it. It's a really good game. Seriously. Well, if you like the video, please subscribe to the channel and have a nice day. Bye. And if you have interest in this game, buy it. I recommend it.